Radhe, Jai Jai Sri Radhe, Jai Jai Sri Radhe. Shyam. So, Karttika class is 2022, and we're discussing Vilapa Kusumanjali and the wonderful teachings of Raghunatha Das Goswami, Manjari Baba worshipping Radharani, and Vilapa Manjari, and from his Stavavali book, Vilapa Kusumanjali, and the wonderful commentaries of Srimati Das Babaji Maharaj. We're on new text, text 11. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I guess we just started this. We read the Leela yesterday. The Tosi giggles and goes from out. We read the Leela, we'll read the verse again and it points to the commentary. Swavne Pikim Samukite Charanam Bhujata Rajat Paragapadavasa Vibhushanena Shobham Paramatitaram Ahotutamanga Vibradvavishiti Kada Mamasarta Nama. Sasimanjari addresses Radharani, O Sumukhi, Radharani, when in a dream will I justified in calling my head Uttamanga, the highest limb of my body, by beautifying it with the fragrant pollen of your lotus feet. So there's some nice points in a tika we'll discuss one by one. And the first one, the Nathas Babaji presents to us, is the role of hope, the role of hope in bhajan. Hope, of course, is a principle of life in general among human beings, and especially in Bhakti Bhajan. Rupa Goswami describes this as one of the 9 symptoms of Bhava Bhakti, Ashabandha, to be bound by firm hope that I will attain the goal. My Shiksha Gurus and Diksha Gurus have always told me, you must attain perfection in this life. I give you everything you need to attain perfection, and there's no reason why you can't attain perfection in this life. I said, it seems impossible. He said, it's not impossible. All I have to do is to avoid offenses and serve Krishna. Sounds easy. avoid offenses and serve Krishna, and you'll
very easy, Maharaj.
Yeah, it will go to Krishna. So you can understand that in your own way. But he wouldn't, any of my Shiksha Gurus or Diksha Guru would never entertain the idea, I'm fallen, I can't make it, you're a Brahmin, you're a Bal Brahmachari your whole life, I'm a dog my whole life, what's my chance? And he said, no, it's, you don't understand. And even Srimati Das Goswami, who knows so much philosophy, he's asked questions, he has a book of questions and answers. It's volume 1, called Pearls of Wisdom, nicely given to me by a good friend of mine. And then there's some okay, excuse me. Some attachment there, I think. Some attachment there, part of a fan club, I think. Anyway, it's okay, no problem. Your love is shown, that's nice. Nice to show your love. So, in that book, the disciple humbly asked his Guru Maharaj, Sri Satyanarayana Das Babaji Maharaj, what are my chances of going back to God? He said, you'll definitely go back. What's the problem? He said, if you don't make offenses, you go back to Godhead. He made a very simple statement in his Pearls of Wisdom. My Guru, I heard this everywhere from every teacher I've ever had. So what does he add on to that Brajavas and Siddhpranali and traditional Varivar and all kinds of Brajaraj and Radhakundpani and Giraj Kripa. I mean, what more do you want? What more do you want? Your excuses are going to be greater than all that mercy? Come on. Don't have a negative attitude. I'm going, I'm gone. There I go. There you go. Bye. I'll follow you soon. The role of hope in the bhajan, Radharani. Asha Bandha. It's a symptom of bhav. I don't have Baba Bhakti, okay, I admit it. I don't have Prema Bhakti, but I have hope. You also have hope? You have hope to get initiated. You have hope to get Srimati. You have hope to find a guru. You know, everyone's bound by hope. He says it's a symptom of bhava. It's a symptom of human life. If you're a human being, you're bound by some kind of hope. Hope my husband doesn't leave me. Hope my wife doesn't leave me.
I hope she leaves me.
Dear God, man. There's a playboy in every audience. Well, some more balanced individuals like having a relationship with a loving person and not hope to lose them. But he's a sannyasi at heart, and so he also was.
I wish, Maharaj.
Okay. Yes, yes. So what does Srinath Das Goswami say about this idea, role of hope? So we all have Ashabandha. The Baba Bhakta is completely bound by his hope and lives by his hope. We have some hope, sometimes binds us, sometimes doesn't. We're not, we have hope, I don't know if we're bound. Ashabandha means bound, tied up by hope. How intensely Das Goswami desires service of Radharani, having Radharani's feet on his head. Although Raghunath understands that he desires something which is difficult and hard to attain, he cannot give it up. So that's the whole idea of hope. That's what hope means. Hope means hoping to get, and our hope is high hope. You hope to get a husband, that's cheap hope, you know. Husband and wife, that's cheap material hope. But hope to attain the spiritual world in this life, hope to realize our siddha in this life, hope to have darshan of Krishna in this life. That's the highest possible hope that anyone can even dream of or produce in their heart or mind. So we're hoping for the impossible, but we're banking on Kripa, Radharani's unlimited Kripa, Karunamai Radharani. And she's very evident and prominent in Vrindavan. So as much as one is in contact with Vrindavan, physically or mentally or emotionally, or any way they're in contact, that's so much they'll get their hope will become nourished by the ingress and contact and reception of Radharani's Kripa. She's Karunamai, she's compassionate. You live in Croatia, you're a nurse in a hospital, and you're thinking out so far from Vrindavan, but you're always dreaming of Vrindavan, thinking of Vrindavan. So it means Vrindavan has followed you. Your body has left Vrindavan, but Vrindavan hasn't left your heart. That's the key thing. People may live in Vrindavan and do so-called what they call Braj Bhajan, but if Vrindavan hasn't entered their heart and haven't deposited their heart in Vrindavan and threw away the key, locked their heart in Vrindavan and threw away the key, then it may be a little while to get the mercy of Radharani. So he just intensely desires it, and Panditji, Anantadasji, quotes the verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita. He knows it's hard to get, hard to attain, but he won't give up hoping. Although apana ayogya deki mone pao shobha tarapi tomar gun upajaya loba. Quotation. Although I see I'm unworthy, my mind is still greedy to attain you. This is some verse. Upajaya loba. Although he sees, where's the thermos? Although I see, I said that. Although Das Goswami sees he's completely unqualified, his mind is still illuminated by the hope for getting Radha and Krishna's sweet mercy. So we're on a Sharan of Das Goswami. We're taking shelter of his ideas and his teachings and his example. So we should have our heart illuminated with hope. Surely I'll attain Radha Krishna's life. This is what hope means. Hope never wavers. It's like an Akanda Deepam. Akanda Deepam is a fire that never stops burning. So the fire of hope never stops burning in the heart of a genuine bhakta. So now, Anantadas Babaji Maharaj quotes Kalikavali, Rupa Goswami, verse 34 and 35, which are the famous verses that anyone who's trying to practice Rag Bhakti and they get challenged by some Dhenukasura type people. Dhenukasura lived in a garden of tall fruits in Talavan. And tall fruits is purple colored fruit like eggplant. Inside is like lychee, very white, big, you get this big sometimes. Inside is like lychee, you know lychee? Lychee's this jelly like white stuff and really tasty. So tall fruits are very fragrant like flowers, very tasty. And this Dhenukasura is a jackass. Donkey. Gada, right? Gada. Sometimes called Garbhasura and other Vishnu Puran. Garbhadasura. So he couldn't relish the sweet taste of tall fruits. And he didn't want anybody else to relish them either. If anybody came in to pick a fruit, he would kick him in the head with his back like boom, like donkeys do, you know. That's what the Mrs. Donkey does to Mr. Donkey. Mr. Donkey comes begging for favors, and his wife is in a bad mood. So he puts her hoof prints on his forehead. Something like Krishna's feet, Radharani's feet on Krishna's forehead, something like that. That doesn't feel so good. Nobody desires to get donkey hoof prints on their forehead. Boom! Ah! He'll be knocked out dead. So that's his bad luck. So the people that can't appreciate others' advancement in bhakti are compared to Dhenukasura. I'm not into Rag Bhakti, I'm into Nrsimhadeva, man. Shri Narsingha, Jai Narsingha, Jaya, Jaya Jaya Narsingha, Shri Narsingha, Jaya Jaya Narsingha, Shri Narsingha, Ugram Vishram, blah, blah, blah. Watch out. I got a string tattooed on my back side. I mean, back. I see on my back, side of my back. So people like that, they don't appreciate some 50, 74-year-old guys say, I want to be a gopi. They don't appreciate that. They say that gopi sadhus for faggots, queers, you know, weird people. You're not a man, you're not a power. So that's ass. ASS, Dhenuka. So this is the situation that this verse, Kalikavali 34 and 35, some people that challenge your interest, your adhikar, or your yogyata. Yogyata means your qualification. Your yogyata to worship Radha Krishna, Rag Marga, and Manjari Bhav. You can cite this verse, Rupa Goswami, Kalikavali, which is being told here, to support the concept of hope in bhajan. I want something, so the idea was being conveyed here by Das Goswami and supported by his Shiksha Guru, Rupa Goswami, and cited by our Shiksha Guru, Anantadas Babaji, is that hope is Hope doesn't calculate on the possibility of attaining fulfillment. Hope doesn't calculate on the possibility of attaining fulfillment. Hope is boundless. And hope should bind us, and hope itself is boundless. We should be bound by hope, and hope. The quality of hope is it's boundless, because we want an impossible, unlimited perfection. The zenith of all possible cities in Bhakti is Bhakti Bhava Surabhi Seva. There's a very beautiful Sanskrit verse, which I can't pronounce very well. The Rupa Goswami says, O Ishwari Ishwari, Vrindavan Ishwari Ishwari. Although the greatest souls can't see you, they can't have your darshan for even a moment. Greatest souls, Shiva, Narada, Uddhava Mahasaya, etc. This fallen soul desires to see you. I'm swallowing my fear, I'm swallowing my shame. I should be shameful. Who am I to ask for this? What is my qualification? I don't deserve to see you. I don't deserve to see you or see your boyfriend Krishna. Well, what can I do? What is my fault? This is Rupa Goswami's prayer. What is my fault? Who would not become intoxicated by relishing the sweetness of your qualities? That's the sloka. Guna Madhuri Navajanam Unmada. I'm gone mad relishing the Guna Madhuri, sweetness of your qualities, ever fresh. Guna Madhuri Nava Janam, this person, this jana, has gone mad relishing the sweetness of your qualities. It's your fault, you're too sweet. It's your fault, you're too beautiful. It's your fault, you're too kind, too funny and prankish and mischievous, and everything about you I'm crazy about. It's your fault, you're made like that, you may be crazy for all your guna madhuri. So that's what he said. He said, what's my fault? Check this verse out, 34, 35, Rupa Goswami says, I know you're a great Param Bhakta of Nrsimhadev, and you think I'm not qualified. Rupa Goswami thinks he's not qualified either. But like Rupa Goswami, in some way, in some minor degree, I become crazy, unmad, about the sweetness of Brajavila, and especially Gopis and Krishna. So get out of here, before I call him Dan Kusura. Give you a swift kick in the, whatever. Raghunatha Das' heart is greatly agitated when he relishes Radharani's sweetness and beauty. Rupa Madhurya. And the sweetness of her qualities and pastimes in his sporties. So that's the point there. The principle of hope. Now in this verse, Das Goswami addresses Radharani as Sumukhi. Sumukhi, who's Manamangal's sister. So that means she has a face like Shiva's bull? Babaji, what's the answer? No, I must have some different Sanskrit meaning, obviously. Because Nandi Mukhi in English means bull-faced. That would be too attractive face for a Brahmini woman, Any woman, in Russian woman with a bull face wouldn't be much appreciated, except in Spain where they play with bulls, Toreadors. They do horrible things with it. Anyway, that's her name. But her name, Radharani's name is not Nandi Mukhi, so don't worry about that. Her name is Sumukhi. What does Sumukhi mean? Su means good, Su means beautiful, Su means sweet, attractive. Beautiful?
Pretty face.
Pretty face. That makes it easy. Yeah, make room for our friend there. Radharani. Face, around it. So Radharani is Sumukhi. So why is he saying Sumukhi? In Bilvamangala Thakur's Krishna Karnamrita, like Das Goswami in this verse, in verse 11, Vilapa Kusumanjali, he's having Smriti of Radharani. He's seeing Radharani. In Krishna Karnamrita, Bilvamangala Thakur saw Krishna, he saw Krishna. And he became overwhelmed with ecstasy. And he forgot everything about how to write and how to express himself. He just looked at Krishna and said, Madaram, 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 Madaram. He was just stuttering in ecstasy. Sweet, 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 sweet. And they say in Bengali, sweet, sweet, very sweet, very sweet, very sweet. In North India, they say sweet, sweet, they say sweet, sweet. So when you speak Bengali, you have to put 2 glowworms in your mouth. No, not glowworms, rasgulla. Rasgulla. Oh, Vishaka Kaho, Mandir Kabo, Mandir Kotai. That's nice. So he, Vilvanga Thakur saw Krishna and said, Mother, Mother. So all glories to Krishna and Mother Manga. We're following Das Goswami, and he's seeing Radharani saying, Sumukhi, Sumukhi, Sumukhi. What a beautiful face, what a sweet face, what a pretty face. So, Raghunatha Das Goswami explains why he says this Sumukhi. He's praying in his Siddhasrupa in his Manjari form. He's meditating. He's having Smriti, which means a deep and profound spiritual vision of Radha and Krishna's Rupa and Leela. And he's commenting in ecstasy, Sumukhi, Sumukhi, please decorate my head with your pollen-covered feet, with your lotus feet. Lotus flowers have pollen, so Radharani's feet are lotus feet, so they also have pollen there also. What is that pollen on Radharani's feet? He's saying that your feet have pollen. Sumukhi Charanam Bhujata, Rajat Paraga. Paraga means pollen. Rajat means glistening, shiny parag. Parag means pollen. P for pollen, P for parag. Rag means color, and pa means a kind of color. So what is that pollen? Radharani's feet are compared to lotus, but their feet are feet. They have toes and toenails. So they're compared to lotus. And lotus flowers have flower pollen. So the flower pollen in Radharani's feet are particles of Mahabhav. It's explained in the 3rd canto of Bhagavatam. When the Vaishnavas are speaking Bhagavatam, when the Vaishnavas are speaking Harikatha, the Harikatha they're speaking is sprinkled with the pollen particles from the lotus feet of Vishnu. It's a very wonderful verse. I used to know the Sanskrit, I forgot it. I memorized it in 1975. But the concept is very nice. When the Vaishnavas speak Harikatha, the sound vibrations mixed with pollen particles from the lotus feet of Krishna. So they're speaking of Radharani, the Radhakatha, the Vaishnava, is mixed with the pollen from the feet of Radharani. And that's what Das Goswami is praying, to have those feet on his head, and his head to be decorated with the flower pollen of Radharani's feet, which is particles of Mahabhav, which is emanating from the transcendental form of Radharani. And it's effulgent, it's shiny. You come in contact with that flower pollen, you also become effulgent with Mahabhav. So it goes on, he's seeing Radharani, he's saying, Ai Sumukhi. How many sweet leelas Das Goswami remembers in his Smriti when he sees the beautiful face of Radharani. Krishna is Dear Lalita, which, what does that mean, Dear Lalita? It means he's carefree. There's a phrase in English, footloose and carefree, footloose and fancy free. There's a phrase in English. Footloose and fancy free. It's the meaning of carefree. Anyways, I don't ask you for a purport. Traditional phrases from countries don't have purport. People who live there know what it means. So he's carefree, Krishna's carefree, but he's carefree, not that much carefree. He's controlled by his lovers. He has a leash on his neck. He can jump around, press, come back. He gets out of hand, right. Behave yourself. At least in town and get lost. Hey, Krishna, right doesn't want me. Hey, come on, you haven't done anything, please, look. She just gave you a wink of her eyes, told you you should go. So you go. Oh, do I have to? Yeah, you go. Okay. So he goes to the next Kunj, lies down. Waits for this wheel to settle down. The movie love for Radharani comes, sends a manjari to go collect Krishna and bring him back. So Srimukhi. So that's a little bit of small thing here about Srimukhi. And now it talks about, it's more about Srimukhi. This is one of the favorite verses in these books of Raghunatha Das Babaji Maharaj. It's from the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adiluga chapter 4, I think so. Ratri Dina Kunja Krita, you must know it. Ratri Dina Kunja Krita Kore Radha Sange Kaishor Vaya Sava Koilo Krita Range. Day and night, it says night and day, Krishna plays with Radharani in the kunjas of Vrindavan. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. This is the theme song of Srila Prabhupada. This is the essence of Bhagavatam and the essence of Krishna, what is it? Krishna Bhavanamrita Sangha. What's the Hindi name of ISKCON?
International Society for Krishna.
The International Society of Krishna Consciousness. There's a whole thing. So all countries, how do you say all countries? You know the Hindi name for ISKCON? Antarashtriya, yeah, that's...
Krishna Bhavanamrita Sangha.
Antarashtriya Krishna Bhavanamrita Sangha. Now that's a mouthful. I once gave a class in Delhi about the Hindi meaning of this ISKCON, translated Hindi. Antarashtriya means, Rashtra means governments, countries. In all the different countries of the world, there's Krishna Bhavanamrita Sangha. There's supposed to be a Sangha devotee. They're relishing the nectar of Krishna Bhav. This is what it means, ISKCON. It's a beautiful meaning in Hindi. I gave a 1 hour class. It's supposed to be Bhagavatam class. I gave some other class. I got curious. I said, what is ISKCON in Hindi? And he told me, I said, wow, that's cool. Has anybody ever talked about it in class? No, we don't even know what it means. I said, well, that's obvious. But I'm going to explain what it means in real meaning, how it should be running. So in the middle of the class, I raised my hand. Everybody here is in Bhava Bhakti? Because it's supposed to be Krishna Bhava Sangha. We're supposed to be relishing the nectar of Bhav. They all had raised down. No, we're relishing nectar of Rajma and Puris. We're Punjabi guys. Some Bengalis thrown in there. So Puris cooked in mustard oil. So equal opportunity for Bengalis. So this is the thing. Ratri Dina Kunja Kriya Kori Radha Sange. Kaishwarvaya Safa Koilo Kriya Ranga. Day and night Krishna plays with Radharani in the kunjas of Vrindavan. So Prabhupada, he always chanted Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. So you give a class, you talk about Radha Madhava in the kunja, you get thrown off the outside and beat up. And labeled, instantly labeled, scarlet letter. Sajya. Sajya. Ekdom number 1 Sajya. Big problem. All glories to you and yours. That's it. There's nothing more than this. That's why the Embarkies, they just have the essence. Nitya Nikunja Leela. Feed the cows in the barn, keep your show in the palace, keep the boys in the fields. And keep Krishna Nikunja Radharani. That's it. A to Z. Sunrise to sunset and again the next day. Nitya Nikunja, it's perfect, I love it. Sometimes I think of becoming an Embark. I think their tilak looks cute also. Newport tilak. But my destiny was different. But I have a lot of sympathy for them. I had some friends who were Prabhupada disciples. They're initiated over there. And they embarked some of that. It was a good friend of mine. Some good friend. He lives in Vrindavan many years. And we discussed differences and similarities. They're very similar to devotees. So, just like Krishna, Radharani is also absorbed when Krishna sees her beautiful face Sumukhi, which is filled with Mahabhav. When Krishna sees Radharani's face, he forgets everything else. Sound familiar? Ask any husband. You ever heard this phrase, love at first sight? Ever heard it? Never heard that phrase? Raise your hand if you never heard the phrase. In Swiss language, German, French, Russian. Oh, you're so beautiful. I love you more than anyone else I ever loved. I cannot live without you. You're my everything. Will you please marry me? Get lost, brother. I heard this 100 times already. This is not frame. It's lame. This is not frame, it's lame. So now, these are aspects of Krishna's personality. Believe it or not, there are aspects of Krishna's personality. It's not always Nitya Nikunja Lila for us. Although Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Rashi Dina Rasa Krita Radha Sangha, Radha Rasa Sangha. Day and night he's enjoying the kunj. But in between, you find some hour or two here or there to be with Subal, Sridham, and Yashoda and others. So, Nadas explains. With his mother, these are aspects of Krishna's personality. This is the point of this commentary, so pay attention. With Mother Yashoda, Gopal is a child. With Putna, he's Sarvagya, all-knowing. And with Radharani, he's just a mukta. He's just ignorant. He's just ignorant and enchanted. This is the play of opposites. It's called paradox. Krishna is called Sarvagya and Vimugdha. Mugdha means bewildered, Vimugdha means completely bewildered. Vimugdha. And Sarvagya means Gya means knowledge. He knows everything. He's omniscient. Big omni, omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent. Well, omni. Omnipotent, all power, omniscient, all pervasive, all present. He's Om Purnamadam Purnamadam. It's like kind of like omni. Om and omni are similar. So, but with Radharani, he lies in Radharani's arm in the kunj at daybreak. His godhood, his Aishwarya, Ishwar Tattva, Bhagavad Tattva, is swallowed by Radharani's Mahabhav. Love conquers all. You may be a king outside the palace, but in the bedroom of the queen, you're a plaything. You're a king outside the palace, in the bedroom of the queen, you're a plaything. Ain't a king. Become a plaything with the whims and wishes of the queen. Dance, man. Sit down. Roll over. Jump. sing. Yes, Queen. Yes, Radhe. The Bhagavatam verse says, a man becomes a dancing dog in the hands of a woman. No, thank you. Next time. Not now. I have another performance to do. I'm not dancing on your stage. Sorry. When the parrots sing in the trees, Krishna doesn't even remember that his mother may be wondering where he is. He does not sleep. He's called Rasalas, which means he has suffering from fatigue of romance. His absolute knowledge, Tathagyan, is pervaded by Radharani's absolute love. Mercy above justice, love above power is a famous phrase of Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami. Mercy above justice, very poetic, beautiful mixture of poetry and philosophy. Yeah, good, he's a very intelligent Brahmin, great devotee. I had the opportunity to have his darshan 5 or 6 times in a room with him. Embraced me, very nice, saintly person. Prabhupada's good friend. Mercy above justice, love above power. Julius Caesar conquered the whole world, Earth planet, and one little girl from Egypt conquered Caesar. Right? Caesar conquered the world, and Cleopatra conquered Caesar. You know Cleopatra? She's beautiful. Caesar had so many arrows and swords and weapons. Thousands of arrows he shot and defeated enemies. They met Cleopatra, she shot 2 arrows. Doot, doot. Raised the eyebrow, right eyebrow, left eyebrow. Oh. Cleo. I'm your Cleopatra of Cleo. That's what Cleopatra means. In Sanskrit, you don't probably know what I'm talking about. In Sanskrit, Patra means recipient. We say, I'm a Kriva Patra of Sri Pandit Sri Krishna Maharaj. Kriva Patra means I'm a recipient of Kriva. So Cleopatra means Caesar's recipient of Kriva. He got knocked off, buried under her kisses. Good way to go. Bye, Caesar. Okay. So what's the 6th point of this tika? What time is it?
20 minutes more. 20 minutes more.
25 minutes more of tava, jokes, and philosophy. More philosophy and tava. How does Radharani enchant Krishna? Krishna is called Madan. Everybody knows. What's Radharani's name? Madan, Mohan, Mohini. Krishna himself became Mohini. You go to Shiva, but you can't be one of Radharani. You can fake out the Shiva. But when he pulls his female stunts, when Krishna, poor guy. When Krishna pulls his female stunts with Radharani, she sees right through the disguise. Comes a Shamasaki, this a barber girl, a female doctor, a Kinnara from the Heavenly Funds, brings some food. Time and time again he comes in, and Gopal Chamba describes 20 different female disguises of Krishna. Just decks himself out in a Kankan Wali, a Bengal sales. He's Jyotishi, he's such a cheater, you know. You can't play it straight. Because he's Tera Bhagavan. You know what Tera Bhagavan means? You're a Banke Bihari. Bihari means enjoyer. That's everybody knows that. But Banke means bend. Bangi. Bangi means sweet. You bend over sweet and got it. Bangi Bihari. But in Vrindavan and Brishvasi is called Krishna Tera Bhagavan. Tera means bend. Why is he bent? Why can't he stand straight? Ram stands straight. Vishnu stands straight. Krishna. So Anandas tells us that Krishna stands Tribhanga Rupam because he can't carry the weight of Radharani's Mahabhav. He buckles under the heavy weight. You put a heavy backpack on somebody's shoulder, their legs fall out like a little deer and they fall on the ground, boom. Too heavy backpack. Rucksack, too much baggage to carry to India. Can't get out of the plane. Overweight. So Krishna can't bear the weight of Radharani's love. So he stands. So in Vrindavan they call him Tera Bhagavan. Everything he does is crooked. He stands crooked, he talks crooked, he acts crooked. What does he do that's straight? Can you tell me? What is the only thing that's straight about Krishna?
Flute.
But even that, even if he shows some straightness, it's still full of dosh. Dosh means faults, dosh means holes. There's 9 holes in a flute. 9 doshas. I don't mean the Navadvara Deya. What is a Navadvara Deya? 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. You can count yourself. I'll count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You figure out. It's called Navadvara Pura. It's in 4th Canto Bhagavatam. In the Franjan story, Navadvara Pura. Pura means city, Mathura Puri, and Dwara means gate or door, and Nava means 9. That's where we are. We're in the body, city of body. So how does this Radharani chant Krishna? Krishna leaves the Kunja in the morning and the Shant Banga Lila at 3:36 a.m. to 6 o'clock in the morning, right before the sun is seen. Because when the sun is not risen yet, it's hard to make out what's going on. So Krishna returns home in the cover of darkness, like a thief. He goes out in the pitch black, he comes back and it's still. Thieves always get back home before sunrise. That's the law of theft. Leave your house at midnight, get back before sunrise. So he takes one step towards Nandagram, and what happens? He turns back and kisses Radharani once again. Streams of tears. Ashudara, Prem Ashudara. Dara means stream. Prem Ashudara. Streams of tears flow from their eyes as they look at each other at that moment of parting. There's a village between Varsana and Yavit called Doman Gaon. Doman Gaon means village of 2 minds. And Radharani, that's where Radha and Krishna, when they meet together in different places, that's where they split up in Doman Gram. Krishna goes to Nandagram, Radharani goes to Yavit or Varsana at Doman. There's many sadhus doing bhajan there. It's a very rasic place. My friend took me there to meet his guru that's there doing bhajan. So they get to that gown, and then that's when they have to break up. This, I think, is depicting that point. The Sakhis are crying to see this tragic moment of Radha and Krishna separated. And seeing this scene of sadness. The gopis can't even move. Then he quotes the verse. Radha and Krishna fearfully look at each other with anxious eyes, while all their clothes and flower garlands are fallen off. They both anxiously go their own ways, constantly looking back at each other until they can't see each other anymore, drenching their clothes with their tears. He quotes a Bengali bhajan, which is really beautiful. Very nice scene to meditate on. And in your Manjari Sroop, was your savior at that time? Crying, of course. Besides crying, all the Sakhis are crying, Manjaris are crying. The Premi Sroop, Radharani and Krishna are leaving after 6 hours together at night. Party's over, the loving Shringarati's over. It's a very sad moment, departure. They keep looking at each other, looking, so they can't see each other. What other loving gopi can create such thirst and a prakrita Madan Mohan? This loving exchange of Radha and Krishna cannot be understood in material consciousness. Krishna is the enchanter of a Cupid, Sakshat Mamata Manmata. But the Kinkaris are serving Radharani, who chants Krishna. Jagat Mohan Krishna, Tahar Mohini. Krishna enchants the world, but Radharani enchants Krishna. This is all discussion about how Radharani enchants Krishna. Krishna is so enchanted by Radharani that he takes on her mood and complexion and becomes who? Gauranga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that's the 8th point. The 9th point is somewhere else. I think that's it of this commentary. Let's read it. That's it for this verse. What time is it now?
10 more minutes. 10 more minutes.
So read a verse and go to text 12. O Srimukhi, this is Tulsi Manjari Das Goswami speaking. O Srimukhi, when will I, even in a dream, be justified calling my head Uttamanga, the topmost part of my body, by beautifying with the glistening pollen of your lotus feet? Rajat Paraga. Let me explain what that means. This is text 22. Text 12. Amritabdi rasa prayes tavanupur sinjita. Akada mama kalyani badiram abaneshite. O Kalyani, when will the jingling of your ankle bells, that is like an ocean of nectarine rust, cure my deafness? So he's deaf, his ears are worthless, have no value if he can't hear the jingling waist bells of Radharani, jingling ankle bells of Radharani. There's some Leela, describing it. There it is. Das Goswami sees a beautiful pastime with his spiritual eyes. Radha Krishna are dancing Ras, because it's about the verse about ankle bells. So ankle bells make their noise in Rasa dance, and some other time, especially in Rasa dance. What's the function of ankle bells? What's the answer? What's the function of ankle bells? Radharani wears new flora.
To enhance the flute playing of Krishna.
To
Keep the rhythm in the Rasa dance.
yeah, that's still the same answer together. To enhance the Krishna's flute playing, to add rhythm to Krishna's flute playing, to enhance his flute playing with the addition of the rhythm instrument of the kartal sounding like jingling of our ankle.
Okay.
Correct.
Read the book too many times.
The rhythm, Radharani's ankle bells. Radha Krishna dance in Ras. Krishna stands still, and Radha's ankle bells give the rhythm to the sweet tune of his flute, which is the emperor of all sounds, and the ankle bells increase the sweetness of Krishna's flute. Krishna, Shyam, relishes the sweet jingling of Radha's ankle bells, along with the sweetness of his flute. The sound of that tune is a great opulence in the spiritual sky. His lotus mouth, Krishna's lotus mouth, makes the flute play sounds, spiritual sounds. The sweetness makes everything sweet and reverses the natural behavior of all living beings. That's good. Aspandanam gatimatam pulakas taranam. Bhagavatam Venu Gita, verse number 19. It stuns moving creatures and causes trees to get throbans of ecstasy. So this is nice. The sound of Krishna's flute reverses the natural behavior of every living entity. So wouldn't it be good, wouldn't it be fortunate if we could hear Krishna's flute one day? If we could hear Krishna's flute, then we would lose our natural tendency to enjoy the material world. So it reverses the nature. Our natural swabhav now is to enjoy. We want to enjoy everything in this world. If we hear Krishna's flute, we'll stop enjoying and become a pure servant of Radha Krishna. So we should pray to hear the sound of Krishna's flute. Sometimes I've been living here in this Radhakund gown, and late at night I hear a flute sound coming from Radhakund. And I was hearing it very faintly coming through the winter sky at night. Early in the morning, like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I hear a flute sound. I said, is that Krishna? So it was going on for some time. I met someone and I asked him, I said, you know there's a flute? He said, yeah, that's a guy that comes from Bengal. He just comes here from time to time, and he sits on the banks of Radhakund in the early morning and plays the flute. I said, you sure he's from Bengal? Maybe he's from Nandagram. It sounds to me like he's from Nandagram. I don't want to believe he's from Bengal. Because you live in the reality that you believe in. Everyone creates their own reality. You believe it, it's real. That's finished. Somebody else may not believe it. Tell somebody else, what's your ambition? My ambition is to become a 12-year-old girl. Hey, wait a minute, man. Girl? Okay, 12-year-old boy, okay, but girl. You're cracked, man. Why that gender? No, I got long black hair and sorry. Oh my God. You're really crazy. So we live in the world of our beliefs. That's good. It's the highest reality. In this way, the jingling of Radha's ankle bells caused the ocean of sweetness of Krishna's flute song to increase. Are you deaf? I am. I am half deaf. If you're deaf, we have a cure for you. If you take the cure, I'll give you a bill for 108 rupees. Now, not us, Babaji Maharaj gives us the cure for deafness. Right here on page 53. Vilapa Kusumanjali. So whenever you buy the book, you get a free cure of deafness. So what is the cure for deafness? He quotes a verse, the secret of the cure is contained in Rupa Goswami's Ukalika Valley, verse 27. Oh, all-pervading Lord. Who's that? Hey, Bhagavan. Hey, Bhagavan. And Bhagavat Saptawalas, they speak for 7 days about the Srimati Radharani. They never once say the name of Krishna. I've heard Bhagavat Saptawalas. They never once say Bhagavan, Bhagavan, Bhagavan. They talk about ninth count of Bhagavan, 10th count of Bhagavan, third count of Bhagavan. They say Bhagavan, the Srimati, they say Bhagavan. They always say Bhagavan. They never say Krishna. What is this guy? Vishwasi guy. Bhagavan, Bhagavan. Bhagavan Rajneesha. You know, Bhagavan. Because Prabhupada taught us Bhagavan is Krishna. I like that. It's the best name of God, of Bhagavan, is Krishna. The whole Sandara written called Krishna Sandara to describe that. Jiva Goswami. My ears have attained the king of all sound vibrations. When I hear, this Rupa Goswami saying, my ears have attained the topmost king of all possible sound vibrations. When my ears hear Krishna's Vamshi and Radharani's Newport. Vamshi and Newport mixed Karo, mixed Karke. Vamshi and Newport, when they mix together, my ears have heard the best possible thing they can hear. The jingle of Radharani's ankle bells and the sweet melody of Krishna's flute. He says, Rupa Goswami says here, he says, Urjeshri Newport. Who is Urjeshri?
Queen of Karttika, Ishwari of Karttika.
Correct, sir. Right. For those rare souls who have heard of and read a book called Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, in some circles called Nectar of Devotion, it describes Kartik. It says the Kartik Brat is described in Padma Puran as the Urja Brat. Really? Urja, not urge for sweets like the brahmacharis. U-R-J-A, Urja. Urja means power. The Pandits in Radha, they say English. They know one line in English. Radharani is the supreme powerhouse. I've been hearing this since 1977, the first time I came to Radha. Hey, Grandma would say, you know, Radharani is supreme powerhouse. I know, I've been hearing it for 100 years. Supreme powerhouse, Radharani ki. Sarva Shakti Mai Radharani ki. So, her name is Urjeshri. She's a queen of Kartik month. The Kartik month in Sanskrit and Padma Purana is called Urja Mas, Urja Maina. And the queen, Rupa Goswami says, Radharani is the queen of this month. She's Urjeshri is named Radharani. Prabhupada wrote a letter in 1971 to all temple presidents. So 72 in March. He said, this Kartik, I'm going to Radha Damodar temple. I invite everyone to come and join me. I'm going to observe the Urja Brat. The Urja Brat. It's a letter in 72. Everyone came to Radha Damodar in 72. Everyone means 50 devotees. And observed the Kartik Brat in Vrindavan with Prabhupada. He gave the famous Nectar Devotion lectures. You heard that? famous lectures given in Ursha Mont and Radha Damodar Temple. Great lectures. So, Rupa Goswami says that Jai, I want to hear the jingling of Jayashri's right ankle bells to defeat the warbling of Brahma's swan. Wow. Radharani's Newport silences the Hansa Gita. 4 minutes left.
No, it is 4.
4. Okay. So he's praying, Rupa Goswami's praying for this. So it means he wants to hear rasa dance. Rasa dance is the topmost of all the Leelas of Krishna. So he says, my ears are dull. My ears are, Rupa Goswami says, I'm deaf. My ears are dull. I'm not hearing the sound of Radha's Newport and Krishna's Vamshi mixing together in rasa dance. So my ears are worthless. So Raghunatha Das Babaji compares the deafness of Rupa Goswami's ears to the deafness of Das Goswami, which is mentioned in this verse 12. Because Rupa Goswami is praying to Radharani. He's saying, O Kalyani. Kalyani means auspicious, beautiful Radharani. O Kalyani. Butter yam avaneshate. Please remove my deafness. So the Sanskrit word badir yam means deafness, deaf, can't hear. So Rupa Goswami said, I can't hear. Why can't I hear? Because I'm not hearing your ankle bells. And Rupa Goswami is saying the same thing. Hey, you're Jai Sri Radharani. I'm not hearing your Newport. So I wonder who wrote which verse. Rupa Goswami wrote Kalika Vallari, and later Raghunatha Das wrote Vilapa Kusumanjali. That's the answer. So Rupa Goswami Das Goswami Shikshaguru in Ras and Tava is Rupa Goswami. So he's saying the same verse. So the great Pandit Ananta Das Babaji understands all the writings of Rupa, put them all together in this purport. So we're almost finished. So Shyam is relishing Radharani's ankle bells, and the relish of that sweetness of this nectar ocean awakens in Tulsi Manjari's heart. As Shyam is relishing it, she is desiring to relish it. Then suddenly one ankle bell falls off Radharani's feet and starts jingling. Something's missing, so Tulsi Manjari sees the opportunity to serve Radharani, runs to put Radharani's ankle bells on. She runs to pick up the ankle bell and suddenly loses the Swarti. Dream's over, finished, loses the meditation, and cries out, when will the jingling of Radharani's Newport remove my deafness? So this is a cure for deafness. So anybody, you know any friends have a cure for deafness, you tell them to come to Nidhi or Sevakunj and sleep outside the wall and listen to the rasa dance. If they have good ears, they'll hear Radharani's ankle bells and Krishna's flute inside the walls of Nidhi at 2 o'clock in the morning. Sri Vilapa Kusumanjali ki, Raghunatha Das Goswami ki, Jai Jai Sri Radhe. Jai Katha Samak. Jai Radhe.